Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I have to be out again today. I actually have we've had a death in our family, and so I have a funeral to go to today. So this video is going to be filled with different reminders of things that you guys are working on at this point. So you are already in Google Classroom. Notice that I put at the top under this video your outline for career writing because this is due today and you need to be working on it in class today if you haven't already. Remember that I put these different links to resources through Purdue OWL that you might need to look at as you're formatting your source citations. And so just remember, this was a blank one. This is the blank copy, the template. A couple of reminders here. You need to have good notes in each of these categories: required education, workplace trends, globalization, innovation, salary possibilities, and readiness skills. Because later this week, you're going to be actually using these notes to write an essay in which you analyze whether this is the career for you, and you include all of those different subtopics. So, citation reminders. Remember that when you type your full citation in this row for each subtopic, you're not going to be able to use hanging indent because it doesn't work in here. But you do need to check the order of the items that you include. If you need a reminder of the order, you have that in a handout, and you also have it in this MLA 8 citations hyperdoc that each one of you completed last week, the week before last, now I guess it was. And another reminder that when you go to do your parenthetical citations, then whatever is first in your source citation is going to be what you put in your parenthetical citation. So if here you have an author's name as your first piece of your full citation, then you're just going to have Adams, the last name only. So notice no date, no year, no NP, none of that weird stuff that sometimes it gives you on EasyBib or Citation Machine. If you did not have an author, and instead your first item was the title of a source, then whatever's here should match, including the quotation marks, if that's your source title. That's like for an article title, a journal, the section of the website that you read, whatever that might be. And if this title is much longer than 3 words, then you can just use like the first 3 words there. So today, make completing this outline with the citations, both the full citations and the parentheticals, make that your first priority. And then if you are finished with that, I know there are a couple of people who came to class finished with it today, then what you need to do is come on back over to your stream. Then remember that your individual writing for book clubs is due on Wednesday of this week. And so here are instructions that you need to follow. The festival requirements document that's attached has your individual explanation If you look down here for the explanatory paper, this is the independent part. That just needs to be about 1 page, and that's basically just explaining the choices that your book club made for your food truck for those different elements. And then this is the requirements sheet that you've had since before we started with book clubs, the day that you guys first got together. And so if you scroll down here to number 3, under the individual requirements, here are the reflection paper guidelines. So this one is going to be 2 to 3 pages in a separate document from the explanatory paper. A brief summary of your book, keep that really brief. Your likes and dislikes about the book itself. Make sure you mention the title of the book and the author in your first paragraph. I want you to write about how the process of book clubs and the conversations that you had were beneficial to your understanding and your appreciation of the book. I don't want you to write generally about this, though. I want you to pull in some specific things that you read in your book and talked about in your book club. You know, what you guys discussed concerning the characters, what you thought was interesting or unusual about the plot and the conflict and how things worked out. When it says, what would you change? You can think about what you would change about the book itself. You can talk about things that you wish you would have had more time to discuss in your book club concerning the book. And then when it gets to this question, how did you answer the guiding questions individually and as a group? Those guiding questions are up here. So, to what extent does adversity build resilience? Why is the story in this book worth telling and reading? And how can reading books about these themes expand our thinking as readers and human beings? I don't want you to speak in general terms or write in general terms about those either. I want you to be specific about the way that you saw adversity building resilience in characters and what you guys talked about in your book clubs and the specific ways that that story is worth telling and worth other people reading. And then you have to be able to talk about the themes that you uncovered in the book in order to answer that third question. So email me with questions that you have today or save them and ask me tomorrow. Good luck.